And when I came on here with so much proof that all this girl does is rage bait.
When you give no kind of inkling as to who you actually are and you show hundreds of thousands of people, hey, this is me, they're going to believe it.
And one thing that I'm not understanding is, has she missed this? Like editing her like little vlog, or has she missed this on purpose?
Nurse Hannah is once again going viral on TikTok, and this time it's for all the wrong reasons. Or has it always been for the wrong reasons? This video right here in particular is what is causing all the issues and people deep diving into her just a little bit more than they did before. She has deleted this video off of TikTok, but it is still on her Facebook. If you don't know who Hannah is, she is a TikToker with 237.6 thousand followers. She started, I think it was last year, I could be very wrong, but it's hard to find stuff on her. She started with nursing content. So she's a long-term care travel nurse and a mom. On Instagram, right here, as you can see, she has 11.3 thousand. And then on Facebook, she has 7.6 followers. And then she also has, like, I'm hiding it here, but she has a subscribe button. So I don't know if she has a subscribe thing on Instagram as well, but that's her social media profiles. Before we dive a little deeper on Hannah and her other content, let's get into what is causing the issue right now on social media.
Vegas for the week, and I saw that there's a grocery outlet here, and I had to stop in there. Call me cheap if you want to, but when we lived in Oregon, grocery outlet was my favorite store ever. This one wasn't really that good, to be honest, but grocery outlet in Oregon slapped. A hotel for the week, obviously, and we need some basic food like breakfast stuff. If you're familiar with Vegas, the hotels here, like the casino hotels, they don't have like breakfast options. And James today woke up at 6 a.m., so I'm planning on that happening tomorrow as well. And today I was not prepared whatsoever with snacks or breakfast foods or whatever. So tomorrow when he wakes up at 6 a.m., I will be prepared. Now we walked in saying only breakfast foods, and the only thing we walked out with was ice cream. I mean, technically not like real ice cream. They're like the little mochi ball things. These are so freaking delicious, and I feel like at this point they're just a Vegas tradition for us. In fact, my husband and I went to Vegas on our honeymoon in 20.
So what is causing an issue for the majority of people on TikTok right now and just social media in general is the flinching and the protecting of his hands. So the people who are so against it, which is the majority, is the fact that he's like blinking like this and hands up as if he is protecting himself. And it's like this has happened before in the past. Now, the people who disagree that it is nothing haven't brought up the protection of the hands thing. They've only talked about like the blinking and how like no matter what, kids do that. But it looks as if something is going on and people are questioning it. And then Hannah actually made a response video after she deleted this video from her TikTok but kept it up other places. She made a response video, and I'm going to play that for you here.
So the fact that I even have to address this right now is kind of insane. Social media is just, it's a scary place. And I never understood people that much when they said they couldn't share their kids' faces online or they couldn't share much about their kids. I didn't really understand it, but it's crazy. If you were to know me in real life, this whole lazy husband thing, it's satire.
Is it, Hannah? Because I personally don't believe any of the content that you post on your husband is satire. If it is there some element of truth? These ones are interesting to share on the internet if it's satire. Like, why would you want people thinking that about your husband?
I am fed up with my lazy freaking husband. He asked me what's for dinner, and I said nothing. You're getting nothing. I'm not cooking anything. Today I was overstimulated to the freaking max. I was working. I had so many million things going on, and then he says, "What's for dinner?" Are you freaking kidding me? Today's episode of How Bad Are We in the Trenches postpartum? It's pretty bad because I have not a single clean dish to eat dinner on. We are literally eating elk bratwursts on dirty pans.
Why isn't your husband doing the dishes?
Things that I had available. God. My husband's gonna be gone out of town for the next week, and I'm mentally preparing to be a solo mother again. I mean, let's be real. There are some days where he's home and I still feel like a solo mother. For instance, on football Saturdays, I feel like a solo mother. Anytime that BYU is playing, I feel like a solo mother. Anytime that he's on his phone, I feel like a solo mother. But honestly, anytime the baby is crying and I say, "Hey, can you help?" I feel like a solo mother. I mean, no, I'm just exaggerating just a little bit, but no, he will be gone on a business trip for a few days, and then he's taking the time to like go see his friends afterwards. He said apparently he has some old friends where he's going to visit for his business trip, and thought he would like make a whole week of it. Which I'm like, why would you not just go for like a day or two for your business trip and then come home to your family and your kids?
My husband is the sweetest, nicest, kindest, most loving, most nurturing father in the entire world. He is playing on the ground with James like 90% of the day. If that man is not laughing, having fun, teasing him, playing with him, whatever it is, then I don't know, then something's wrong, because those two have the strongest bond, the strongest father-son bond that I know of anyone else. And it makes me really sad that social media has turned it into something, or me, maybe it's, I don't know, maybe that's, it makes me sad that I guess I've turned it into something like that. I don't know. In the video that you guys are all freaking out about, they're just playing. They're always playing. They're always playing where they scare each other. James is obsessed with dinosaurs and bears, and when they look away and they come back and they scare each other, and they play, like when they throw something, they'll play throw it, you know, when you like psych them out, you know, and they flinch and whatever. Like that's what they're always doing. They're always like hiding behind couches and jumping at each other and chasing each other around the house and up the stairs and down the stairs and tackling each other. They're always playing constantly, to the point where like if I'm trying to talk to my husband, I can't, because he's always playing with my son.
So people are pretty divided or have some varying opinions on if her son was flinching, if it could be more than that. I'll let you guys decide. Obviously, I'll just show you everything and decide for yourselves. You would have already saw the video anyways. But I'm going to share stuff from childcare workers, people who work with kids, and just general people on TikTok. And let me know what you think about that.
The video with her kid flinching did raise some mommy alerts in my head, okay? People can argue that flinching is a natural reaction, and it is. But the way that boy flinched, he flinched in fear. I work with children, okay? I work with 2-year-olds. And at that age, kids hit, kids push, sometimes they bite. It's all very normal behavior, but it is my job to make sure that I correct those behaviors so that doesn't become a habit. I have a student of mine that is going through an aggressive stage. I am working with the parents right now because he is hitting, he's pushing. The other day he bit someone. Just this morning, it was too cold for my kids to go outside, so I took out different toys for them to play with. And I took out some magnet tiles. Well, the student that was biting, he passed by to go get some pieces of the magnet tiles, and he passed right in front of a kid, and the kid automatically went like this. Wasn't even trying to hit or bite the kid, but because he has already done that multiple times, the other kid just right away was on guard because he didn't know if he was gonna bite or not. And it's the same thing with that kid in that Nurse Hannah video. Kids flinch, people flinch, it's a natural reaction. But the way that he flinched was a little concerning. The way that he flinched just showed that he was expecting something. And I have seen this reaction from kids in my classroom, that when they do it like that, it's because they're scared or because they're trying to protect themselves from something happening. If I would have seen that type of reaction from a kid in my class to another adult, it would raise some alarms in my head. So I don't know the whole story, so I don't want to judge this family when I don't know them. Also, if what Nurse Hannah is saying is true, does she not look back at her videos? Like when I'm posting my videos, I look back at them before I post them. Did she not think that would be viewed as bad on social media? Like that people would obviously have opinions about that. So that's what also makes me feel like maybe she's doing that on purpose, right? Because a lot of people think that, you know, good or bad, views are views, right? Maybe she just wants to get a check, and that's her decision. But personally, like, is it worth it? Is all that money worth you being viewed as what people are saying right now about her? I don't know, but that's my 2 cents. What do you guys think?
I see everybody doing the flinch testing. I have 3 toddlers. I tried it out this morning. For one, I don't post my children's faces, but I will be reenacting them. So for my 1-year-old, I did this to his face and he did this. He was whacking me away. To be fair, he throws hands at me, okay? Tried it on my 2-year-old. This is what she did. Like, I did this to her and she did this. She didn't brace herself. She was just like looking at me like I was crazy, which she had every right to because I was doing something she never experienced before. Now to my 4-year-old, she was 3 a couple days ago. She literally just turned 4. I did this to her. She said, "We don't poke people's faces." I love that she like straight up told me, you know, what we shouldn't do. Now, kudos to her on that. I feel like I raised her right. She stood up for herself against her own mother, which she had every right to because it was weird behavior. Yeah, it's not normal for kids to flinch and embrace for impact. I tried it on my 3 toddlers. It's not normal. And then her apology was also really weird that they were playing. Ma'am, I play with my children all day, every day. We run around in circles and I do the boo and ah. I can probably get my son to do it right now. Hey, Caden. Rah. He said no to me. Can you go rah? Rah. Rah. I am not trying to blame Hannah, but maybe she should look around who's around her child that has her child acting this way. Maybe it's not her, maybe it's someone else, because that definitely is a trauma response. Do not get me wrong, it's so normal. It's a human response to like move your eye, twitch a little bit when something's near your face. That is a completely normal response. But to embrace for impact like you're used to getting hit in the face, that's not normal.
The video with her son and husband where her son is flinching when the dad is handing him a frozen item from the food section. And a lot of you are speculating that, well, children only flinch if they were, and I'm going to educate you as an early childhood specialist. I'm looking at the antecedent, what happened before, and the kid was already fussy. I don't know why, but he's already upset. You can see by his body language and his facial expressions that he was already in a state of dysregulation prior to the dad handing him the item. You can already see he's upset before the dad even hands him something. And as I look at the dad's body language, he has open arms, he has a calm facial expression, he's reading the back of a box. He's not presenting himself as a stressful person to the environment around the child. So taking into account the dad's body language and facial expression in combination with the child's body language and facial expression, when the dad handed him the item, it looks like the kid entered a fight, flight, or freeze mode, and by him flinching, he was a flight person. If he had hit, probably a fighter. If he had a blank look and didn't accept the item, probably a freeze person. And fight, flight, or freeze is a body's natural response when they feel like they're stressed out in an environment, and clearly the child was already emotionally dysregulated prior to the item being handed to him. Like, honestly, y'all, be so for real.
Nothing's going on. From the moment that my husband wakes up in the morning to the second he goes to bed, he is only thinking about our children and our family and what's best for us. And that's never not on his mind. He is constantly thinking about his children, their futures, what it's like now, how to be the best father. You can't believe everything you see on social media. You just can't. I promise, and when I promise this, I'm serious. Nothing is going on. No, I don't really owe anyone an explanation. I could just be like everybody else, and when stuff like this happens, I could just keep quiet, and I thought about keeping quiet, just kind of letting it blow over. But I thought, I don't want that. I don't even want the thought of that out there. I don't want anyone to suspect anything, that even to be questioned whatsoever, that me or my husband, that we do not love our children, that we do not treat them with anything other than love. Like, it's crazy. There's nothing. There's nothing going on.
So I saw this post in her Reddit snark page, and honestly, some people just discipline their children differently. This is something that I personally don't agree with, and a lot of people nowadays don't, because it's more of a boomer or Gen X way of parenting your children. And research has shown it doesn't actually help. It just makes them scared. So if you take that into account, it makes sense that the child reacted that way. I really appreciate the perspectives of everybody who shared before. The last guy I shared, that's an early child care educator or something, he has like mixed liking on TikTok. People say he's like a misogynist and stuff, but he brought up a good point on that the child was dysregulated before this happened. But when you watch the whole video through, it's hard to tell because the way they cut it, like he's at the freezer, the dad, and then walks over to him. It doesn't appear he was crazy self-regulated. I don't know. Like, he could have been at the start of a tantrum. It's really hard to know. I'm not wanting to just like dogpile on her. It's just something to be aware of, that she potentially just is a rage baiter content creator, and it sucks. But then you can't be upset at the public for thinking something about you when you're the one, like all these people I showed you before that shared their opinion, that people will have a certain opinion about you because of what you share, like thinking that her husband is lazy and, you know, being alarmed by these videos that she's posting. You also can't expect people just to not talk about this, because you put your life on the internet. This is what happens. If you put your life on the internet, you are at risk of, you know, receiving hate or criticism or whatever it is that just comes with putting your life online. From what I can see, doing my little bit of digging, is her first like claim to viral sensationalism, you know, whatever, was with this video. So it says 25 weeks pregnant, possibly with twins. And she goes into how, so as you would have learned, she is a nurse, right? That she didn't get any prenatal care. And then her anatomy scan, I think, was like at 34 weeks. I'll show you them just like all in succession. It's crazy and it's dangerous, honestly. I'll share more a little bit later.
I'm 25 weeks pregnant or so. Haven't been to the doctor one single time, so I don't really know. So yeah, literally could be having twins, don't even know it. Also, I don't really plan on going to the doctor anytime soon. I just honestly don't feel like it's that necessary when you're pregnant. Now, you guys might think I'm crazy. Oh, you're a nurse and you don't go to the doctor. Oh, you're a nurse and you're anti-doctor. I'm not anti-doctor. I just don't think it's that necessary. Like, I feel fine. Baby's growing. I trust my body to grow a baby. Like, what do you think they did back in like 1920? You think they're going to the doctor like 10, 15 times while they were pregnant? No. Last time when I was pregnant with my son, I didn't go to the doctor until I was about 25 weeks. That time it was because of like insurance problems, but I think I just learned that it's not that necessary. My symptoms are manageable. I don't really get that sick. And I trust my body to know how to grow a baby. A lot of people think I'm crazy because they're like, oh, what if it has like health conditions and you don't even know? What does that have to do with anything? That wouldn't change my decisions or anything. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Like, this baby will be loved regardless of complications, health problems, anything like that. I literally could be having twins, don't even know it. I'm like 25-ish weeks pregnant. Based off of getting pregnant in January, puts me at like a September-ish due date. So that's what we're going with. So basically, whenever I go into labor, will be when I go into labor. So I'm 25 weeks pregnant, and let me tell you the real reason why I haven't been able to go to the doctor. Because I believe that going to the doctor while you're pregnant is 100% necessary. I just haven't been able to go. So as a travel nurse, insurance is really, really tricky. It sucks. And I was trying to be, like, back in November, I was really trying to like plan ahead. I'm like, Kate, we are going to probably want to start having more kids here pretty soon. I need to figure out good insurance. Last time when I was pregnant with James, we paid $10,000. So I was like, we are not doing that again. I am not paying $10,000 for this baby. We need to figure out something different. So I found a really good insurance company that was going to be like $2,000, basically like my out-of-pocket max or however it works, right? Yeah, turns out that was a scam. So I'm pretty sure it was a scam because I tried to contact them several times, like, hey, where's my information? Where's my like little card thing? Where's my policy numbers and things like that? And I never got one. And I would try and call and I would sit on hold for literally hours. There were days where I sat on hold for like 7 hours. And we're still paying for it. So it's coming out of our bank account and I just don't have access to the information. So yeah, that's the real reason why I haven't gone to the doctor. Does it make me nervous? Yes and no. I'm trying to go here pretty soon. Probably in the next month, hopefully I'll be able to go to the doctor. But yeah, it's just an insurance thing. Last pregnancy with James, it was kind of the same problem, just insurance. Insurance as a travel nurse is just so crappy and hard because it's like you're bouncing between states, you know, and so it's hard and bouncing between jobs and companies. So last time with James, we didn't even go to the doctor at 22 weeks, I want to say. We went to like an outside sonography place that did an anatomy scan. So that way we at least knew that like everything was going well. And then I think I made it to the actual like doctor, like OB, I want to say at like 26 weeks. And then we did all the tests and the glucose tests and all that kind of stuff. And everything was fine. So, twins run in the family. So that was one thing that's been on my mind. But I feel like this far along, if I was having twins, I'd be a lot bigger. So that's kind of what's telling me it's not twins, but I have no idea. Basically, I've been checking my blood pressure. I've been checking my blood sugar. I've been taking my prenatals. I've been watching what I eat. I'm really taking care of my body. I know that's not all that needs to be done. Like, I need to have an actual, like, doctor and I need to have scans and things like that. But in the meantime, I am doing the best I can. I'm 31 weeks pregnant, so come with me to my very first OB appointment. So if you have not heard, I am 31 weeks pregnant and I have not been to the OB yet, and we are going for the very first time today. And honestly, I have no idea where I'm going. I need to be there in approximately 4 minutes. And this is a ginormous hospital and I have no idea where to go. I can't walk that fast anymore these days. Okay, 1 minute to spare and I think I'm at the right place, but I have no idea. Okay, just kidding, not at the right place. I have an appointment for Hannah. Blood pressure was 103/70, for those of you wondering. I'm always on like the lower side. Also, I don't know if we're doing the anatomy scan just since we are so far into it. I think they're still debating as well if they want to do it, but we'll see. I'm good with whatever. Do it, don't do it. I don't really, it doesn't really make a difference. So we did this today.
This is definitely not the door that it came out of. I'm so lost. They took 9 tubes of blood. Why in the world does anyone need 9 tubes? Goodness gracious, like leave some for me. They did the glucose test. I got a shot. They did scans. I have to do my anatomy scan another day. I got a little goodie bag with some formula in it. So I'm all set.
So I'm almost 34 weeks pregnant and I just barely got my anatomy scan done the other day. So let's talk updates and go over the whole thing. Now, just because we're so late in the pregnancy, I debated for a long time if I should even do it or not. My husband was more on the side of he just would rather wait till delivery to figure something out. But it was covered with my insurance, and so I just decided, you know, why not? Let's just get it done. And in my video, I was so stressed about missing the appointment and I was upset that it took so long to get me in. Not because of like, yes, it was my own fault that I'm 33 weeks pregnant and getting my anatomy scan done. Yes. But however, like I got the appointment scheduled at like 29 weeks pregnant, I think. The anatomy scan wasn't done at my doctor's office. I had to go over to the hospital's radiology center, and the radiology center didn't have any openings for an hour-long scan. I guess just since the anatomy scan takes so long, it can take a while to fit you in. They told me I could keep calling to see if there was any cancellations and if there's any times to get me in sooner, and I kept calling like several times a day. There wasn't a cancellation list I could get on. They said just to call and see that way. But yeah, obviously I was not able to get in sooner, so I had to wait about 3 weeks after I scheduled it to even get the appointment done. And honestly, that day that I got the appointment done was just so long as it was. Like, we had just got home from vacation, I had my other doctor's appointment beforehand, and then I was already at the hospital, so I sat in the car for 2 hours waiting for my anatomy scan. And then by the time it was time for the appointment, to realize I had been waiting for 2 hours and I was at the wrong place the entire time. That's why I was stressing, running, and being like, if I freaking miss this appointment after I've waited those 3 weeks that I've been waiting and calling, trying to get a cancellation, things like that. That's why I was so frustrated. But anyways, now updates on the actual anatomy scan. Everything looked great. The baby was good. There were no anomalies, no abnormalities. Everything looked good. The placenta was good. There were no deformities. Everything looked as it should. Spectacular. I still don't know the gender though. My husband and I are choosing to not know the gender. There were quite a few people commenting like boy or girl. I have no idea.
Her biggest claim to fame, like what she's known as now, which is why you're seeing videos titled this, is that she was known as 17 diapers. She did a video back in October that said, how many dirty diapers do I have lying around my house? And I'll play it for you now.
Let's pick up all the dirty diapers I have lying around my house right now. I kid you not, my guess is probably 15. I don't own a diaper pail or a diaper genie or whatever they're called. They just kind of get thrown around my house, and then we just collect them in a bag at the end of the day and take them out to the dumpster. So I've been solo parenting for the last 24 hours, so we're going to see how many dirty diapers we have just lying around with 2 kids. I promise you, I'm not even exaggerating, this has only been 24 hours. So I'm counting just 4 diapers right here on the coffee table.
And they're newborn diapers.
Found another one right behind the couch. Oh, found 2 more. So far that's what, 7 diapers, I'm pretty sure. That's just down here, like in the kitchen living room area. Let's go upstairs. I already know this is gonna be so bad. Okay, so right away I'm seeing 1, 2, 3 diapers.
She must toss them. There's no way that she's changing on the landing all the time.
9, 10 diapers. Then into the bedroom. This is the
the rest of her
corner
place is
of what
disastrous.
my side of the bed looks like at night. It's embarrassing, I know. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think if I counted right, that's 17 diapers lying around my house. No wonder my house friggin' stinks right now.
I remember when this came across my For You page. At first, it was like hate for her, like disgusting, how could you leave diapers? And then it got changed into something a lot bigger. Someone made a video, like a big creator, I don't even know who, I saw so many of them, made a big thing like saying, why are we judging her? She's postpartum. That 17 times a baby's diaper has been changed, you know? And people like rallied behind her and did videos of like, this is my 17 diaper moment. Like this, I may not have left diapers, but like, this is what I did instead.
I'm 10 weeks postpartum and I don't have 17 diapers, but I don't remember the last time I showered. I don't have 17 diapers, but I forget to take out my contacts every single night from exhaustion. I don't have 17 diapers, but I cry in my car alone, so my mom and my husband can't see. Postpartum is incredibly difficult, and I have help. And I still find it incredibly difficult. I'm not 100% sure when we went from putting money into formula containers at the store because she deserved the purse to shaming the mom with 17 diapers. We all have our form of 17 diapers. We just don't all talk about it. So here is me talking about mine, because I think postpartum care in this country is absolutely abysmal. And we need to do a better job of taking care of our moms.
17 dirty diapers laying around your house is not normal. I do not care how you spin it, but it needs to be normalized. But you didn't think I was going there. Rest your thumbs for a second and listen up. My entire FYP the last few days has been full of women sharing what 17 dirty diapers symbolizes for them. Postpartum anxiety, postpartum depression, the things that we go through that are not normal, but the only way they're going to become normalized is if we talk about it. It's important to have that friend in your life, that person in your life that's going to say, hey, this isn't normal. Let me help you get some help. Let me help you. Yet we're in a society where, for me as a new mom, both times, if my own mother was coming over, my grandmother, my friends, I felt the need, I felt the pressure to get up and clean, light a candle, throw away the trash, pick myself up, throw some makeup on. And that is the problem. It's a societal issue of what we expect of postpartum mother. And so while I may not have had poopy diapers laying all over my house, I had other things: agoraphobia, didn't want to leave my house, not wanting to shower, not eating right, crying and screaming, telling my newborn to shut up in the middle of the night. I've never said that out loud except for 2 people in my entire life. But I know I'm not alone. As somebody who spent 10 years in education, I pride myself in my ability to self-regulate my own emotions so that I can handle a child losing their absolute shit. But postpartum me could not handle it. I'd clench my fists and squeeze my hands and feel this immense amount of anger and have to run and get my husband because I was afraid of myself. That's the shit that needs to be normalized, because we are so alone and isolated because it isn't normalized. And so those are my thoughts on 17 dirty diapers and this whole trend. And I think it's great because it's one way to spread awareness, but I think more needs to be done. More needs to be talked about for women and for their partners. And also, where the fuck are the husbands in the villages that should not even let it get to this point? Why is it all on the mother and the care, as to be the caretaker and to be perfect? I don't know, just my thoughts.
And to be honest, seeing these, I scrolled past them. I hated the trend. I hated it so freaking much. I hated it because I'm not like judging someone in postpartum, but I remember that she was the same one who had no prenatal care until like 30 weeks pregnant. So I just, putting two and two together, you're just like, you're just a different breed of human. So I wouldn't chalk the 17 diapers up to a postpartum thing. In my opinion, I'm no expert, but that's just my opinion. I think it's important to interject and say that I 100% was not judging those who were like, this is my 17 diaper story. I was more so thinking of the actual person, Hannah, like the no prenatal care sort of thing until like her 3rd trimester or whatever it was. But I personally struggled really bad postpartum with both of, I have children, with both of my kids. With my first, I became a mom during COVID for the first time, lockdown, and was extremely anxious, rarely left the house, took me so long to leave the house. And then with my second, she was a NICU baby taken from me within minutes of birth, had surgery day 1 of life. And it was a very traumatic whole year postpartum because she had 3 surgeries that year, 3 surgeries, 3 NICU stays, 1 that we flew to another province for. It was hell. So I'm not judging postpartum. I think it's great. It raised awareness for that. I just think it wasn't, I don't know. This is just my opinion. Doesn't mean it's factual, but I don't know if that was like a postpartum thing for her. Also because she kept up with the leaving the diapers around the house, which is why I think it's just rage bait. It blew up so big. She was in the Today Show. I believe she did interviews like in person too, but they did a story on her here, as well as with People magazine, Glamour magazine. There's a lot of smaller ones that did too, but those are like some pretty big establishments that covered her story. And I believe the only podcast that she did was this one, Cheers with Avery, 4 weeks ago. And it's since been deleted. I screen recorded this little thing this morning, but then this evening I was like trying to check like something particular with her, and I saw that she's been deleted. She deleted across all her on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, on Spotify, on Instagram, on TikTok. She deleted everything, as in Avery did, of this thing ever since it's blown up, because it's gotten even bigger, this story today about, you know, her child flinching, which is crazy that she took all that down. It's smart because now she's going to obviously not get tons of hate towards her platform, because people seem to really like her podcast. I don't really know her, but yeah. I really like this creator's take on the whole situation. She thinks along the lines of that I do, of is it rage bait or disguised truth, which is very interesting. And then I'm going to share right after her final point. She's right. She's right about that. And she said, Hannah said this on the, you don't know what I'm talking about until you watch this, but Hannah said this on the Cheers with Avery podcast, and it proves her point. So she is right. Her analysis is great in my opinion.
So there were a few things that the 17 diaper mom / Hannah has posted that really bothered me. She claims her account is based off satire, and I just don't buy that at all. First, she started making videos about how she's a nurse and she does things that are very untraditional, and definitely got the attention she was looking for, definitely was making more controversial content to get people talking. And then she shifted. She decided, okay, I'm not going to do that. So then she started doing more vlogging type stuff. And that is when she started shifting into her discussing her husband and how he's not helpful, and I guess maybe speaking from someone who really just loves their husband, loves my children's father, I would just never want to post something like that about my husband online, satire or not. And I find it deeply alarming that you would want people to believe that your husband is limiting you to a certain budget. He's not letting you sleep in. He's going on work trips and leaving you at home for hours on end. He went to work a day after you had the baby. Like, just all of this stuff that is obviously like a rage bait, but I'm starting to believe it's not rage bait at all. I think that she's disguising the truth, which really kind of comes full circle back to what potentially could be happening with their baby. Something that I noticed with her is that she has heightened irritation towards her toddler as well. Your irritations will be elevated based off the energy that your partner brings into the home. I'm starting to believe that she could be holding some resentment because maybe the toddler is going through some kind of regression with the new baby, and she just wants to be able to solely focus on the newborn because she didn't get the time that a postpartum mother should get with the newborn because the dad wasn't able to give her that. And so that goes back to me saying, I'm not sure that it's rage bait at all. I think it's just disguised truth. Next thing that really bugs me about her account, I've said before and I will say it again, I do not like pages that are based off of children. I think the world is crazy and I think the world is sick. And so that's what leads me into this. She posts her toddler in a diaper all the time. And I know that that might not seem like a big deal to some, and I love that for you, that your mind is able to still just have like the ignorance behind it. But if you know more about how the internet works and why internet safety is so important, you will know why I'm saying her having her toddler in a diaper is just deeply concerning. Last but certainly not least, I have noticed that she has her comments insanely filtered. I mean, I don't know what she's putting in that search bar to filter these comments, but like she'll have a video with like 2,000 likes and like 15 comments. Like, she is deeply filtering her comment section, and I honestly think that that is how she got away with all of the rage bait controversial topics for this long. And unfortunately, I think it's finally catching up to her because she can't really escape what people are noticing now.
Like, so many things, like you're a horrible mother, you don't deserve to have children, some nasty thing. Thousands and thousands and thousands of comments.
I think your video has like over
good.
11,000 comments, which is nuts.
So many of them are filtered too. So it's probably closer to like 20,000, honestly.
Yeah.
Because you can like filter all the, whatever words.
Yeah.
So yeah, so many of them are like filtered.
I wanted to get into this earlier, but I think it's a great way to finish. Is one thing to know about Hannah that she shares a little bit about, but not like crazy details. She did go into detail on Avery's podcast, but her and her husband are LDS. They were, I believe, married in the temple, which wonder if she wears garments. I learned that from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. And they both went on a mission to, I think, Alabama, and that's where they met. They married 5 months after their mission ended, and then had a baby like a year and a half later. Their first one and their second one was more recently in like end of September, early October. And she does share about going to church, and she does get some heat about like her finances. I was raised Christian, and I know tithing is a thing, but she's getting some heat on that. I don't know if I'll insert it here or not. Just saying it just in case.
I just paid $600 in tithing, and you guys were freaking out over it, saying that why would you go into the negatives financially to pay tithing? I believe 110%. You will never change my mind. This is a non-negotiable for me. Paying tithing, paying 10% back to the church every single paycheck is the reason why I am where I am today.
But yeah, it's interesting to know that she is LDS. So I wonder if her church backs her up. You know how if you've ever looked into being a Mormon or LDS, that influencers often get paid to help share the word. And it also is something interesting to think about is with her husband, if he is a certain way, I think that might be a pretty known thing within religion, that the husband tends to be that way. Not everyone, but that tends to be a thing, especially from what I've learned since when I first got into commentary and covered like Ruby Franke and the Jody Hildebrandt case. I've really covered a lot of Mormons or LDS members in my videos. Just happens to be because there's so many influencers there. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Do you think Hannah is a rage baiter like I do? Or do you think maybe like the creator I showed just before, that there could be some disguised truth in it? You know how no one's gonna like complain about their husband and say he's like a lazy piece of crap if he truly isn't in some tiny way, you know what I mean? So whatever, teach their own. We're all entitled to our own opinions. Think what you want to think. I'm not trying to get you to believe what I believe or think what I think, but I just like covering interesting topics. And hope you guys had a wonderful day. Bye guys.